The day of the Flaming Dragon is upon us once again. We're ready to get you prepped for a huge NFL football weekend as we discuss which quarterback has the most to lose. Did Tom Brady want the opposite of Bill Belichick for the Raiders? And which young quarterback will shine the most next year? Arch Manning or Ohio State's Julian Sand? It's Friday.
Come on.
To my left is obviously former Michigan quarterback David Coen. To my right, play it. Go ahead, play it.
This is Flaming Dragon!
All right, the number is at 1.5 today. 1.5, little room for error there. So they are not allowed to say my true government name, what is it, Jake?
I'm not going to say it.
Well played, sir. On another note, all right, if you are in the chat today, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate and it's on topic, it will get read. If you donate at all, it will get read at the end of the show. We're going to have multiple polls today to where you side the winner, whether that's a person or it's a play. David, you want to go ahead and inform me about that hot take hotline?
1-855-236-3228. That's a phone number, and if you call it, you get to talk to us. 60 seconds, share your hottest take. Those lines open at 3:50 Eastern, 2:50 Central.
That is a phone number. You're 100% correct. It's Friday. The takes ought to be hot. Some could even say flaming.
Spicy.
But not in the way you're thinking. Let's have a great Friday, people, here at Crain & Company. The Las Vegas Raiders have agreed to make Pete Carroll their next head coach on a 3-year deal with an option for the 4th year. And it's an interesting hire in general, but the subplot of Carroll getting selected is way, way more juicy. You see, Tom Brady is a minority owner of the Raiders. And while the Davis family runs the show, there is no way that you don't put a lot of stock into what the greatest quarterback of all time thinks when choosing a new head coach. And from a 30,000-foot view, it seems like Brady not only wanted Carroll over Bill Belichick, his former boss, but he wanted the exact opposite archetype of Belichick because that's who Pete Carroll really is. Not only is Carroll a defensive guy, but his personality traits are on the opposite end of the spectrum as Belichick's. While both are up there in age in their early 70s, Bill is cold and prickly, while Pete is vibrant and seems to be pretty easy to get along with. We always heard rumors and whispers about Bill and Tom not exactly being best friends, but to me, this is a clear message that Brady wanted the exact opposite approach for a new young quarterback than what he had. Because the Raiders are going to take a QB in the draft, and this hire was doubly as vital because you want to put your new franchise quarterback in the best position possible early. I think Bill would have taken the job if offered. He just signed with North Carolina, but Brady and the Raiders organization obviously didn't want to go that route. And to me, this only solidifies the theory that Belichick and Brady may not be on the best of terms. Another Michigan quarterback, as I mentioned, to my left, just like Tom Brady, David Coen. First, I want your thoughts on the hire. Give me a grade, A through F on the hire. And just, do you think that maybe Tom Brady was like, if there was any talk about Bill Belichick, he was like, no, don't do this. Let's go another way. I've been through that. It's not as golden and as rainbow-filled as what you think.
Absolute A hire. Am I the only one who's excited that the Silver Fox is back? Pete Carroll belongs in the NFL. And that Rose Bowl jersey back there, that could be a winning game jersey. Instead, it was a losing one because Pete Carroll was on the other sideline at USC, which we can talk about his college days, too. I love this hire. And is it going to be for a long time? No, I think it's a Drake situation. Hey, he's here for a good time, not a long time. I know we have to get into the quarterback talk. They have, the 6th pick? They need to figure out what's going to happen at quarterback if he's going to win and win early. I know we're going to get into that. On the Tom Brady thing, I don't think he had a ton of influence and say. What's his equity stake? 5%? He probably had 5% say. Maybe,
you think only 5%? If Gordon Ramsay was a minority owner of my restaurant and we were hiring a new head chef, I'm
you'd
really
pick his brain. You'd pick his brain, and then you'd say, I'm gonna make the decision because that's what these owners do. Maybe I'm wrong though, but I do agree that I don't think there's any love lost between Tom and Bill. That's well documented. That's the reason he got out of New England. So if he did have a ton of say, I think it's interesting. He still went with a 73-year-old guy, almost exact same age as Bill Belichick, but not him. One thing I do want to say about this hire now, this is for the AFC West in particular. Is this now the greatest collection of coaches in one division in NFL history? I truly believe
it's got to be.
I think this could be the greatest collection of coaches in NFL history. Let me just hit you with this real quick. Andy Reid with the Chiefs, 3 Super Bowl wins, 5 appearances. Pete Carroll now, Super Bowl win. When he was with the Seahawks, and a national championship with USC. Jim Harbaugh, a natty winner with Michigan, a Super Bowl appearance. Sean Payton, a Super Bowl with the Saints. That's a tough division to beat, and all those guys are older too. It's not the young, hip guys who are the OCs. Veteran coaches, that division was already a gauntlet because of the coaches and the quarterbacks that are in there. Now you add Pete Carroll to the mix. When he gets the quarterback situation figured out, man, this division is awesome.
And Flaming Dragon, I almost said it. I almost said it, but I didn't. I want to kind of veer in a different direction a little bit with you here because, obviously we all keep up with the draft, but this is something you really kind of honed in on. Pete Carroll gets the job. We'll see what happens with the coordinators. Bobby Slowick was just fired from the Texans. I'll be interested to see if maybe he could be a guy that could end up with the Raiders. Don't forget, we're only a year removed from Bobby being one of the hottest names out. Now he's looking for a job there with the Texans. But if you're the Raiders, you're sitting there at the 6th pick. We'll see what the Titans do. I think the Titans should trade back. I think they should probably trade with the Raiders to be able to get as much bang for their buck. But you got to take a quarterback, right? So if you're Pete Carroll, you're Tom Brady, you're Mark Davis, when you look at the quarterbacks that are available, you almost have to trade up, right? That's got to be mission one.
I mean, if you have to get in the top 3. Because, right now, if you're Tennessee, we'll see what the Titans do, whether they take Cam Ward or they trade out of that pick. The Browns are taking quarterback. I think
the Browns are taking.
It's either going to be a quarterback or Travis Hunter. It's going to be one or the other. But if I'm the Browns, the Deshaun Watson experiment's over. It didn't work. You paid a guy a bunch of money who regressed throughout his career. Ever since that scandal, Deshaun Watson has not looked the same.
Wait till I tell you about Dak Prescott.
And then you go to the New York Giants. I think we can all sit here and say
they're going to take one.
Daboll's going to take a quarterback,
100%.
1,000%. But if you sit at 6, it's just who's your third best?
In this class?
In this class,
that's the question.
Third best, but I promise you he's not worth the 6th pick in the first round.
True.
I wonder if Cleveland's the team that trades back. If they decide to not move on from Deshaun or whatever, if they trade back at 2 and the Raiders take over there. But if I'm the Raiders, I think there's a difference between Shadur and Cam.
So if you think that, because you've said that for a while, so for people who think that, then what good does it even do to move up to 2? If you're Pete Carroll and you're not huge on Shadur, but you would take Cam, but you can't get to 1, you can't get the Titans to move back, then why try and even move up?
You got to Kevin Costner this thing somehow. That's the deal. But overall, Flaming, grade the hire Pete Carroll to the Raiders.
I would say B+.
B+?
B+. Pete, Super Bowl winning coach. He knows how to develop guys.
You think Tom told him don't take Bill?
I just think you're just really old. You're just really, really old. You're 70. He's the oldest coach in the NFL.
He was before he got fired from the Seahawks.
But Pete doesn't seem like an older guy. He's a young soul, right? I think Pete could get away with it. You brought up something, Coney. You don't think he's going to be there that long. It's a 3-year deal. You got an option on the 4th year. Do you think it's we got to win a Super Bowl in 3 and then we're going to hand it off to the next guy? Or maybe it's a coach in waiting situation where they bring a guy underneath them?
I think it's 4 years max. Again, I don't know. Like you said, he's young at heart. I don't know how much time. Our president's 78 who just got elected, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just don't see this being a 10-year experiment. Again, John Gruden should still be the coach of the Raiders. That was the massive deal. Remember John Gruden finally returning to the NFL, going back to the Raiders where he came from. 10 years. What was it? 10 years? $100 million at the time or whatever it was. Obviously, that went south with the email scandal, so the Raiders have been trying to get some footing since then. I don't know what the long-term plan is, but I think he's going to come in and set that culture right away. Again, who's going to play quarterback, though?
Yeah, that's
in that division against Mahomes.
You better have the right.
And now Bo Nix.
Yeah, you better have the right.
Well, I was back to the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick point. Do y'all think Bill just didn't want that job?
We had heard that Bill was flirting with some NFL teams. I think he would have taken it.
Because Tom said he reached out to Bill Belichick.
When did he say that?
I read it in an article. It was he was one of the first guys he reached out to, and Bill did not want the job.
Well, I gotta look. We can sit here and say I reached out. Maybe I was testing the water to see if he would take it or whatever. But deep down, I think if they really wanted to get a deal done, I think Bill would want to be back in the NFL. That's just my personal belief. I don't know him on that. It's very surface level. But I just something in my gut is telling me that Tom Brady was like, nope, don't do Belichick. Don't do
think
Belichick.
they accomplished too
Pete
much
Carroll's the exact
together?
opposite of Bill Belichick.
Do you think they accomplished too much together, though, to let some animus like that get in the way? Aren't they too alpha male, or especially on the Brady end, if he did have a lot of say in the hiring? If he thought Bill Belichick would come in and do a better job, do you think he would say that, or that just the rift is too deep?
I think Tom wants to win. I think Tom wants to look good, just like anybody in that arena does. So if he thought Belichick would put them in the best position to win, if anybody could talk Bill Belichick into doing something, I think Tom Brady could be that guy. But part of me is like, it'd be different if you brought in somebody that was kind of like Bill, that was that archetype. Pete Carroll's the exact opposite, man. He's the exact opposite in every single way. Go back to his USC days. They had Snoop Dogg on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally.
What if Tom plays quarterback for one season? Just come back for 1 year. Let's get that Super Bowl.
They won't take. They sure as hell won't take. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you donate, it's on topic. It will get read. We're going to start off with a $5 donation from Man. What's up, man? Appreciate the donation. I don't see Pete lasting more than 3 years. The Raiders are a absolute dumpster fire of an organization, and who would want to deal with that owner and that haircut?
Well, like, if anybody could turn it around, though, I feel like Pete Carroll could do it, right? Like, Pete's one of the few guys that could come in there. It's like John Taffer on Bar Rescue. You know, hey, the waiters suck. Y'all need a new computer system. Let me scream at a couple guys a couple times, but we'll have fun. At the end, I'll put my arm around you. We'll go get ice cream. That's what I think Pete Carroll could be. There's very few that could fix it, but I think Pete could fix it.
They got Brock Bowers, Max Crosby.
You got some
exciting
pieces.
Exciting whites.
I like Jacoby Myers. I think he's a good player, too.
Good player.
Let's go to a $10 donation from HBH. Appreciate it, man. As a Chiefs fan, what Tom Brady is doing with the Raiders makes me uncomfortable. First, he gets his former teammate and assistant manager of the team he won a Super Bowl with, and John Spytek, and now he gets Carroll. There's something brewing over there.
There is. Tom Brady, formerly of the Patriots, bringing in a guy with the last name Spytek. I wouldn't trust it.
You can't keep the Raiders down long anyway,
Real Michigan
man.
situation.
Yeah, it is.
So to G. Hurt, appreciate it, G. Pete Carroll got run out of Seattle. I would put the hire at a D+ at best.
Oh, D+.
I agree with you. He got ran out of Seattle. I mean, there's a lot of people that were pissed off about the way that went down. We'll see how it goes with the new guy they got in there. But a D+, that's tough, man. Unless like Pete Carroll just, pulled a Drew Barrymore from 51st Dates and forgot, like he ran into a tree going to get a pineapple for his birthday. I don't see how it could be that bad of a hire.
Let's go to the One Brain. He says, I think Pete is the man who can build the foundation that the franchise needs to be competitive in that division. I think it will take time, but I think he will fix the Raiders.
I'm with you. I like it. I give it an A. And I typically don't give anything an A because I didn't get a lot of A's. So I don't give out a lot of A's. Let's get to the poll.
All right, poll. Was Pete Carroll the right hire for the no, excuse me, I changed that. Does Tom Brady hate Bill Belichick?
You changed it?
Good.
Yeah. What was the answer to the first one?
It was yes.
He's the right hire?
Pete Carroll was, I believe it was 62%.
So this one is, does
Tom Brady hate Bill Belichick?
I'm going to say yes, 65%.
Yes, 55%.
No, 60%.
Wow.
Yes.
There's a positive vibe.
Friday.
Good energy on this Friday.
Positive Friday.
We'll see how long that lasts.
All right.
So, Coney, let's set this up for
Top
us.
play bracket. So we picked the best play from the 4 teams facing off in the NFL playoffs this weekend. We're going to do it bracket style in the manner that they're going to play against each other. So I say we start with AFC.
Yeah.
Right? So
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes play, and what do we pull? A Josh Allen play?
Yep.
Where do we start?
Let's start with the Josh Allen play.
Okay.
I picked this one specifically because it's against the Chiefs, and we talk about how important Josh Allen is to the Bills. It was why, I think he should be the MVP, but also the run game and the element he brings there. This is earlier in the year in Buffalo. The Bills are up 23-21. There's 2 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. It's 4th down and 2. Kick a field goal? No, says I. Take that, Marcus Freeman. They're going to go for it, and this one salted the game away. Let's go ahead and play the clip. They start out in split gun. They put Ty Johnson in motion. You fake the swing pass. He was supposed to throw it backside, but then he just takes off, makes 3 guys miss, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle.
Huge.
It's like tackling a refrigerator, man.
What sucks the most is Kansas City's in zone.
Yeah.
They're playing zone in this play.
And one of the specific reasons I picked it is you saw all the elements of Josh Allen right here in this one play. Not just the broken tackles, not just the elusiveness, but it's the improvisational stuff. And I think it's one of Patrick Mahomes' best strengths, too. When the play breaks down, this is supposed to be a pass play. All right, he's going to fake the swing. He was supposed to throw it here to the boundary. It breaks down. He sees an opening. He takes off. Not only does he get the first down, he scores a touchdown. Let's play it one more time. I just again want to go through it. So if you're the Chiefs, all right, you know it's 4th and 2. Play it. Do a good job of recognizing it. They just tried to run a pick route. Doesn't work. Take off. Outrun the linebackers. Outrun the defensive end. Break Nick Bolton's tackle. That's not exactly a easy guy's tackle to break. And you finish in the end zone in a clutch moment because Josh Allen is Buffalo. And Buffalo is Josh Allen. He's going to have to do it. And he's going to have to do it in clutch moments for the Bills to finally change the ending to this movie that we've seen in the AFC.
And remember, that win for Buffalo over Kansas City in the regular season was the only regular season loss for Kansas City in games where Patrick Mahomes started.
Yep.
All right, Blaine, or sorry.
That's right. Hey, it's one. It's okay.
We didn't have to throw.
See, I didn't even have to
it's okay.
say anything.
We're good. We're good.
I'm dialed into championships.
Hey, keep it locked. Keep it locked.
Anyway, whatever they call it, flaming, whatever they call you on Fridays. Can you set up this Patrick Mahomes play, please?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring it up here. All right. And we've seen these antics throughout the years with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Travis catches the ball down the field, and it just turns into playground football. All right, this is a Week 5 game versus the Saints. Go ahead and run easy. Patty already dropping back here. He's going to find Travis Kelce down the field. Boom. Here, Travis Kelce, break back inside. You know what? Screw it. Boom. Pitch. Samaje Perine gains an extra 25 yards. And this is not the first time we've seen this. Travis Kelce does this a lot, and I think he would do it more if he was allowed to. I wonder what Andy Reid really thinks about these type of plays.
He doesn't like it.
Yeah, but you saw it even in the Bills game a couple weeks ago. But you go back and you really look about this Chiefs offense, there hasn't been huge plays. They're just really good at what they do, methodical, the way they beat you. And probably the biggest play was blocking that field goal against Denver later half in the season. But this is how good the Chiefs are. In the heat of battle, they're not scared to have fun.
I think we're going to start seeing this more and more in the NFL. It's the new RPO, the run-pitch option. Not the run-pass option. I've always wondered, even going back to, when I coached in junior college, why more offenses? And I get that people are very risk-averse. They're like, we don't want to put it in harm's way, but if it's a guy I trust, like Travis Kelce, there are so many times, we talk about pursuit angles, where defenders are running toward guys with the ball, and if you pitch it back, we see this on defense as much as we see it on offense. Defensive lineman picks up a fumble or intercepts a pass, turns around and hands it or tosses it to a DB who takes it 75 yards and a touchdown. I think this is the next evolution in the NFL of something that we haven't seen. The RPO, and this didn't even bleed from college. This is like an NFL thing, and I disagree.
Backyard.
I think Andy Reid loves this. I think this totally encapsulates what the Chiefs are about. Like they're not afraid to try something new.
He likes it only when Pat or Travis.
The person doing it.
No. Okay, good. Good.
All right, so the chat's going to vote on that play right there for the AFC. I would vote Josh Allen.
I would vote Josh Allen too. Not that that's not cool, but
Booster Club gets the say on that one. All right, so let's go to the NFC. Do you want to set up Saquon Barkley's play?
Yeah, I mean, y'all know what's coming. It's speaking of something that we've never really seen. I've never seen this. I've seen guys hurdle guys. I've seen guys juke guys. I once saw somebody dressed up as Mickey Mouse shoot a flaming arrow before. But I've never seen what Saquon Barkley did against those poor Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's go ahead and play this clip. It's the reverse hurdle, but just so everybody can see it. I mean, this is just stupid. Jalen Hurts going to throw the check down. All right, 3rd and 6. I make a guy miss. I make another guy miss, and then I backwards hurdle you. There's no button on any video game that could do that, but now there has to be. But what I think is even cooler about this play is he makes 3 guys miss in 3 different ways, right? This is a meat and 2 veg special. Play it again. So we're just out of the swing at 3rd and 6. This isn't hard for Jalen Hurts. Throw it to Saquon. So first, I'm going to cross you over. Eat. Then I'm going to spin you. Then I'm going to reverse hurdle you.
It's unprecedented.
That's like a glitch in Madden.
I've never seen it.
He glitched in Madden on the field.
And as cool as that hurdle was, what he did to that second guy.
Oh, it's the spin?
It's just your fake spin. You're tackling nothing.
It sucks.
Run it again so I can just always see something I'll never be able to do.
It's like Nightcrawler from X-Men. He just disappears in smoke and shows up.
Jalen Hurts knows exactly where he's going with this ball. Check down, absolutely. This guy, this sucks, but this right here.
Yeah. And look, these aren't bad. Like, I know the Jags aren't very good. We'll get to them in a little bit. But these guys don't suck. Okay? They're here for a reason. That's just, he does superhuman things.
Let's bring up Jaden Daniels. We got to talk about this Hail Mary. This play was insane against the Bears and taking advantage of guys in the back end who are celebrating already with the crowd and not paying attention. Please run this. Chicago up 15-12.
Dude, this changed the season for Washington and the Bears.
Look, Chicago feeling confident. They're going to get out of here with a win. Jaden Daniels making things happen.
Launch.
65 yards in the air.
Bat the ball down.
Look at that.
Not that way, though.
Touchdown.
Y'all remember that guy celebrating in the end zone?
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're saying. That's what I was saying. But the very fact, that's a game-winning Hail Mary to seal the game. And the fact that we're talking about a 15-yard pickup could even possibly be better than that just showcases how great the Saquon Barkley.
Well, and think about the narrative in this game, too. I mean, you had the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick, right? The first quarterback taken and the second quarterback taken. Washington's 5-2. Chicago's 4-2. Eberflus feeling good. But I think at this moment, you tell your players, hey, we could be a team of destiny. We could be, if we do all the little things right, it could work out for us in the end. I think at this point, maybe Washington really started believing maybe we are the chosen ones. Maybe we are a team of destiny, and look where they're at. Even with the rookie quarterback doing something nobody else has done, and they're going to beat Philadelphia. I've said it all week. They're going to beat them.
Well, so while the chat votes on those plays, then why don't you give me your final keys to victory then?
You talking about for Washington?
For both games.
Yes. All right, well, I'll start in the NFC. I think, from a Philadelphia standpoint, I could sit here and give you the low-hanging fruit. Saquon's got to carry him on offense. It'll set it up for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. But I look on Washington's side because they're playing free. They're playing with house money. I think the key for Washington to stay in this game is to continue to not try and do too much. You can do a lot by not trying to do everything. And I think one of the things that Jaden Daniels, one of the reasons that he's gotten here is because not that he's afraid to make a play, but he throws the ball away when he needs to. He understands when he needs to get down when he takes off. He takes the check down. He keeps them ahead of schedule. They're in a lot of 3rd and 3s and a lot of 3rd and 4s. Don't change your stripes. You don't got to go into Philadelphia and be Superman, right? You don't got to go in there and do too much. So my key for Washington is continue to be yourself, but don't panic and don't force the issue, because even if you play just good, I think you'll have a chance in the fourth quarter in this game. But obviously, on the Eagles side, I have a hard time trusting Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. I'm going to continue to say that.
How healthy is he?
That's another thing. That running element for Jalen Hurts is big, too. As far as the Bills and the Chiefs, I mean, we've talked about it all week. A lot of the thing with Buffalo, it's going to be Josh Allen's legs. Because not only is it the big plays that you get, the scrambling around, finding somebody downfield, it's the 4th and 2s. It's the 3rd and 1s. It's the 4th and 1s. Being able to use him as a runner and truly get a hat on a hat in the box from a blocking standpoint to continue drives and keep Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs off the field, especially, David, late in the game. Because how many times have we saw it with the Patriots, we've seen it with the Chiefs. They get a stop late that gets Patrick Mahomes back on the field to get one more chance or give Tom Brady one more chance to go down there and beat you. If you're going to kill the Chiefs, you got to kill them. You got to cut the head right off. You can't just slit their throat and hope they bleed out and walk away and die. You've got to kill them in front of you, and that's what I think Josh Allen has to do.
Back to the NFC Championship for a second. Talking about Jalen Hurts, my biggest key is his accuracy and effectiveness in the RPO game. Because as more and more of these defenses dedicate resources to the box to try and stop Saquon Barkley from rushing for 200 yards against him, I mean, this tandem of Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert is too good, and I've seen it be too lethal to now all of a sudden you're just a one-dimensional team. What? They're way too good. It starts with him pulling zone reads at the right time, and sometimes that means he runs himself. That's another weapon that he has. But oftentimes it means getting that slant to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith behind those backers as they dedicate resources to stop Saquon Barkley. Do you have a key for the NFC Championship?
I mean, yeah, if you're the Redskins, you got to stop that thing in the backfield. Like, you have to contain Saquon Barkley. There's a reason right now He has the most projected total yards for a game in the playoffs ever at 130 rushing yards against the Commanders. Your first goal and your main goal is have to stop Saquon Barkley. And then after that, on the offensive side, I think you need to have a balanced attack. You need to be balanced. I know sometimes you just want to get out there and be a gunslinger with Jaden Daniels and show how good he is, but you have to make the Eagles somewhat respect the run, whether that's through Jaden or through your running back. And another thing, if you are the Commanders and you get in the red zone, I don't think 3 is going to be enough in this game. I think you're going to have to score touchdowns to beat the Eagles with the success they'll have on the running game. So if you're in the red zone, 3 is not enough. You have to get in the end zone.
If you're Dan Quinn, who I know he's the head coach, and you have a defensive coordinator, but he's the defensive guy, do you go in this game and say, look, Jalen Hurts is beat up. They've had problems with him and A.J. Brown. The passing game hasn't been really smooth. I know what Philly's game plan is with that offensive line. They're going to turn around and hand the ball to Saquon. Do you sit here and say, you got 2 options, I think. One is you try and play it even because you are still worried about A.J. Brown. You are still worried about Devontae Smith. You are still worried about Dallas Goedert. And then they have Jahan Dotson and some other guys that can hurt you. Do you say, we're going to play it even and see if an even box can just contain Saquon? Because it's one thing to get 115 yards on 15 carries. It's another to get that on 30 carries. You can keep Philadelphia down if it's the latter and the volume. It's yards per carry that I think is the most important. And do you feel that out and say, hey, if we can stop it, great, we'll adjust? Or do you start out and say, you know what, screw this, man. Screw this. We're putting guys in the box. We're playing skinny on the back end. We're going to make Jalen Hurts beat us through the air.
Yeah.
He wants to throw the back shoulder, throw the back shoulder. If he wants to do this, let him do that. To me, I always like to feel it out first. Because maybe we're having a good day in the front 7. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're whipping their ass a little bit in and over and in and under front.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I don't have to funnel these guys down. And you know what? Sometimes if it's 3rd and short, okay. You got to match personnel. You got to match formation. But I think Philadelphia's going to come out in 11 personnel. This isn't some trick. They're not going to come out in 14 personnel or 22 personnel. What would you do if you're Dan Quinn?
Obviously, you got to feel this out first. You can't go cover 0 all-out blitz on the first play and just let A.J. Brown burn you, and now you're down by 7. But to your point, I would be a little bit more aggressive in the box early because of Jalen Hurts' running ability. If he didn't have the ability to run, but Saquon Barkley was just as lethal as he was, take what they did against the Lions.
So if it was
right?
Joe Flacco.
Like it's the Lions or Joe Flacco, yes. But because Jalen Hurts can also run and can pull that zone read, and he's a threat in the quarterback power game, and Saquon Barkley, that gives me double the reason to be aggressive, not just Saquon all by himself. One more thing on the AFC Championship game here. The Buffalo Bills will be without starting safety Taylor Rapp, which I think is a big deal. With the Bills, is it as simple, like is this an Occam's razor situation where it's the simplest explanation? Like, hey, you gotta guard Travis Kelce. Because the Chiefs haven't shown throughout the season that they can establish a run game consistently enough that you really have to worry about that play in and play out.
That's the difference in this year's Chiefs. Now, again, obviously you got to cover Travis Kelce. But, I'm looking around at the Chiefs, and, D-Hop looks old. He doesn't look nearly as effective, obviously, as what he's been. Who really scares you outside of Travis Kelce for the Chiefs? Xavier Worthy.
Scares the hell out of him.
That's him. But, I'll take it compared to what they've had in the past when they had Tyreek and Travis, and even when Juju was cooking, the first time. So, to me, and again, sometimes we get lost from an analysis standpoint of thinking, not having the safety, well, that's really only going to affect the pass. No, safeties are huge in the run. There's a reason it's called safety, not just for the deep ball, that this is our last line of defense, but in the run game. What do the running backs always say? If I can make the safety miss, I'm going to score. So when you look at Rapp and his tackling ability, that's a big guy to have out, because we know the Chiefs aren't going to change who they are offensively. So let's say you do take Travis Kelce out of it. Let's say we're going to bracket him, we're going to double him, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. I think if you can just somehow keep Xavier Worthy in front of you, that includes on reverses and swings and trick plays, you can hold this Chiefs offense down. Because guess what? Kareem Hunt,
Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. Those are their 2 guys, right?
Xavier scares me more than Hollywood.
I agree with that, but Hollywood still scares you. With the amount of speed he has, as quick as he can get to 10 yards and just take off. And you got to remember, who got hurt this year for the Chiefs. Rashee Rice was a big piece of what the Chiefs do.
Which is tough preseason.
But he ain't playing.
When you're planning for that guy all preseason and then you don't have him. I mean, that's why I hadn't been as hard on the Chiefs offense as I otherwise would have. But again, playoff Chiefs are different than regular season Chiefs.
For sure. I'm sure Noah Gray will come out here and ball or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Justin Watson or one of the exciting whites they have that we always
Who won that poll?
All right. Well, we have the winner of everything. So I'm going to take you through all 3 polls that I had.
Okay.
All right, first was the Josh Allen and then Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen cleared that. I think it was 80-20. Not even close. All right, then you go to the next one, a little bit closer here with the Saquon Barkley hurdle and the Hail Mary from Jaden Daniels. It was going off at 60-40. Saquon Barkley won that. And then the final poll, what was the best play overall, the Saquon Barkley hurdle or the Josh Allen touchdown run? Do y'all want to guess?
I mean, it's got to be the hurdle. I think the hurdle cleared the hurdle 53%.
53, that's tight. 55%.
Saquon Barkley hurdle 68% to Josh Allen touchdown run coming in at 32.
Well I get it. That's what we thought was going to win. Let's go to the chat for 1 second before we get to punter go.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from the Pro. Appreciate it. It says, why is Travis Kelce always open? I don't understand it. It's been a failure from NFL DCs.
Well, and again, if you watch this show, you've watched us talk about it. The playoff version of the Chiefs and Travis Kelce is different. Go back and look at the one playoff game that he's played compared to this regular season, and he still had a really good regular season, but it wasn't to the standard, at least from a touchdown volume standpoint, that we're used to seeing from Travis Kelce. But what does he do against the Texans? Who, by the way, D'Amico Ryan's a hell of a football coach. Defensive mind. Now, we could talk about, the zone coverage and how he was able to tear that apart. So you can't play man all the time.
Yeah.
You can't just bracket one guy all the time. Like, it's just like basketball. Sometimes you go make a shot with a hand in your face. Sometimes a guy's going to cross you over, even if he's guarded. It just happens. But he goes for, 118 yards and a touchdown, has a season high from a yardage standpoint. I think a lot of it is, it's not as much of what you're doing to defend him. It's what he's doing to you in that moment. And I think that's what you saw a little bit. And both things can be true. I thought the Texans should have adjusted. Hell, he was cooking them so bad at some point, maybe you do just have to sit in man and say, listen, this guy goes up to buy a hot dog, I'm going to put mustard on it for him.
But that's to your point, there's like 3 aspects of Travis Kelce's greatness. One, and Andy Reid's scheming him open a lot of times. So he's looking at your personnel grouping, and he's getting him open based off what scheme you're going to run. 2, the option routes. Travis Kelce is breaking off option routes depending on what he sees live in the moment, and he's so on the same page with Patrick Mahomes that it works out in a way that it doesn't for a lot of other guys. And then the third reason is he's just better than you sometimes in man coverage.
Well, to me, Travis Kelce, and some people understand this comp, some people won't, and that's fine. Travis Kelce, to me, for the Chiefs, is a different but very similar version, especially when we're talking about option routes, of Julian Edelman for the Patriots. They did it different ways. Yeah. Julian Edelman was smaller and quicker, but would kill you on the option routes. Travis Kelce is quick enough to get away with it on the option routes, but he can box you out, but they both have great feel for it. And I can sit here and tell you, play him inside leverage, play him outside leverage. You never play somebody straight up. We talked about this the other day when you broke down the play. So you got to pick a leverage. So that's why the option route was invented. You go to the side that he's not. To me, I think the best way to handle it is you got to somehow, if you're playing off of him, change your leverage mid-route. And you typically don't teach that because they're trying to stim you, and maybe he'll even react to that. But that's the only way I see
like that comp better than even Gronk. You would
Gronk
Gronk played tight end. He played tight end. They were both great. But
different players,
different styles.
And Gronk was a better blocker, much better blocker than what Travis Kelce is. All right, let's move on to punter go here.
All right, punter go, guys. This is our debate segment. We're going to make a statement. The other guys have 60 seconds uninterrupted to affirm that statement by going for it, or they can reject that statement by punting it. We're going to start off here with Josh Allen. And my statement is Josh Allen has more to lose in this championship weekend than any other quarterback. Jake, punter go.
I'm going on this one. I think this is pretty obvious. I would actually put Jalen Hurts second. But if you look at Josh Allen, this is the same movie, right? This is the hill that they have not been able to get over. What is the knock on Josh Allen? It's this. It's this team. It's this coach. It's this other man at quarterback in Patrick Mahomes. Not only is the pressure on Josh Allen from just an individual standpoint, if you lose this one, something may happen to your head coach. I think your head coach, as crazy as that sounds, as asinine as 5 straight AFC East titles sounds, you could possibly lose your head coach if you lose this game because it's the one hump you can't get over. Can you change the ending of this movie? You are having one of your best years. You could possibly win the MVP. You just took down Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and this is the last hill you have to climb to get the Bills back to the Super Bowl, to do something that we have not seen in a long time. The pressure is squarely, I don't even think it's close, on Josh Allen because the expectation is high, the standard is high, and you haven't given him this flavor of ice cream before, and your head coach's livelihood may be on the line.
Josh Allen, more to lose this weekend, punt or go?
Punt. What has he won? What has he won?
Not a Super Bowl.
Now, what pressure? Pressure? You know what pressure is? Being a two-time Super Bowl champion and coming to defend what you've just took over. That's what pressure is. Josh Allen hadn't won anything important. I mean, MVPs, congratulations. That's an individual award.
You don't got one of those yet.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he's probably going to win it this year. I wouldn't be surprised after beating Lamar. But there's a little bit of pressure, but I know where all the pressure is. It's the guys who've actually won something, who actually put their hand up to a camera and have rings on it, and they did it last year. That's where the pressure is. All the pressure is on Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and these Chiefs. You have to win something to build pressure. And they've built nothing but pressure in Kansas City. If you're Josh Allen, play loose, man. You haven't won anything anyways.
What do you think about that?
I think that's, and I said the other day, I couldn't think you could ever be more wrong than you were about Auburn basketball. But what do you mean? The pressure has led up to this point. This is the point. He hasn't won anything. What, you make fun of the virgin, not the dude who sleeps at the sorority house every couple of nights. Josh Allen hasn't done this. Patrick Mahomes has Super Bowl ring. He could retire now, and his whole
that's
career
why there's more pressure.
So if Andy Reid loses this game, they gonna fire him? Hell no. He'll probably get a raise. They'll probably give me even more milk and cookies. Josh Allen hasn't done anything. There's more pressure on somebody who hasn't done anything. Not only that, you've played just the tip with the entire fan base for the last 5 years. Like all the pressure is on you. I'm not getting into that.
What is that?
All right, I've already made 2 sexual innuendo references in this segment. I'm not doing any more than that. But all the pressure's on the guy who hasn't delivered yet. Just like my wife, there was a ton of pressure on her. It's the first child we ever had to make sure everything goes good. If we had already had 2 kids, all right, the pressure's off. We kind of know how it goes a little bit here. I couldn't disagree with you more.
Well, the prompt is not, that's why I purposely didn't make it who's under the most pressure. I said who has more to lose. Kind of a,
Patrick Mahomes has less to lose than any quarterback that's left. Well,
when you're on top,
you're on top. You have everything to lose.
Wow, we won 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. So did Kirby Smart have the most to lose a couple years ago after winning 2 straight natties?
Trust me, Peyton won 2, and he's still chasing Tom Brady.
Not back to back.
Mahomes won 2,
not back to back,
and he's still chasing Tom Brady. Trust me, pressure's there.
I think that's
what about Jaden Daniels and Patrick?
All right, I love that first punter go. The second one right here is going to be between y'all 2. All right, you best be ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, Jake, we're going to start with you.
Oh, yes.
No, we're going to start with you on this one, Dave.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels winning the Super Bowl as a rookie is more impressive than Patrick Mahomes winning 3 straight. Punt or go?
I'm going to have to punt that. As impressive as it would be, and I don't think a rookie's won a Super Bowl 3 in a row. I mean, you're talking about something that's never been done in the sport. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes is having his Michael Jordan moment. Remember, Michael Jordan had the benefit of following Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And he said in that Last Dance documentary, those 2 guys had each won back-to-back world championships. I wanted to be the first one who three-peated, and he did it twice. I think Patrick Mahomes is looking now saying, man, I can be the first guy out of all these guys, out of all these greats who have played the game, all these Hall of Famers. I can be the first one who wins 3 in a row. And when you're already on top, everyone's gunning for you, and they just had their best regular season. I think that would be more impressive than a very impressive feat of Jaden Daniels winning as a rookie.
All right, Jake. Punter go. Jaden Daniels winning the Super Bowl as a rookie is more impressive than Patrick Mahomes winning 3 straight. Punt or go?
I'm going to go on this. Both of these things are incredibly impressive. We're not arguing whether one's impressive and one's not. They're both impressive. But to me, doing it in your first year, you weren't even the first quarterback taken. Okay, Caleb Williams was. Doing it in your first year, it's never been done before. It's unprecedented. Tom Brady didn't do it. Patrick Mahomes didn't do it. It takes a while for you to get cooking. The fact that you would be able to come in the hardest league in the world, with some of the greatest athletes in the world, with some of the greatest minds in the world, in a game that's ever changing, and do it in your first year, to me, it's Not as hard to do the Rubik's Cube 3 times in a row right when you've done it. But the first time you ever hand me a Rubik's Cube, if I'm able to figure it out in a decent amount of time, hell, it would take me longer than an NFL season to do a Rubik's Cube the first time you gave it to me. I think it is incredible because it takes elements not of just athletic ability and talent, but maturity. I think it's a level of maturity that Jaden Daniels has reached. We've talked about it with Lamar. He had to evolve. With Josh Allen, he had to evolve. With Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, he had to evolve. You may already be at one of the highest levels of your evolution as a rookie. It is incredibly impressive to me.
All right, boys, let's move on to Liam Coen here. A lot has happened this week. He was the Bucs offensive coordinator, had interviewed for the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching job, took himself out of contention to remain with the Bucs. Then all of a sudden, Jags owner Shad Khan fires the general manager Trent Baalke, like we talked about this week. Then Liam Coen's back in the mix, and now he has accepted the head coaching job for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I have 2 punt or goes here for each of you. The first one, I want to start with the Jags side of this and their franchise #1 overall pick quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence will have his best season in 2025 under new head coach Liam Coen. Punt or go?
I'm going to go. And when I say best, I mean from a win standpoint. Do I think he's going to put up the 4,100 yards and 25 touchdowns like he did in the best year statistically that he had? I think he could get close to that. But I think what Liam brings is a little bit different than what all the other coaches that have gone through this Jaguars experiment have under Trevor Lawrence. I think he brings a kind of a full-throated look at offense. I think he understands formationally, from a motion standpoint, from a balance standpoint, how to get the best out of Trevor Lawrence. Because it feels like every coach before him, coordinator and even head coach, it has just all been on Trevor Lawrence to make all the plays. I think Liam Coen, even if the pieces aren't elite around Trevor, and they've got some guys. We look at Brian Thomas Jr., you look at ETN, some of the backs, they have Tank Bigsby. I think he does one of the best jobs in America, NFL or college, and this is what he did at Tampa, of being able to use the pieces around the quarterback in a way that fits the quarterback the best. So I think the Jaguars will have the most success, including, I know they made the playoffs and came back and beat the Chargers in that game. I think yes for Liam Coen from a win standpoint stats. I think it could be close and even better.
It's been a disaster for Trevor Lawrence so far under multiple head coaches with the Urban Meyer experiment and Doug Peterson, Flaming Dragon. Trevor Lawrence, best season under new coach Liam Coen? Punt or go?
Punt, 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 punt. Get the special teams on the field as quick as possible. I don't care who you put out there. Moses, you could put out there Andy Reid. I don't care. Some aliens could come down and try to fix Trevor Lawrence. It's over. The experiment's over. It's done. It didn't work. Trevor Lawrence has gotten nothing but worse throughout his career. He has regressed as a quarterback throughout his career. And I'm not saying the Jags, the players that they have around him is great. No, they're pretty bad too. Worst defense in the NFL. But just bringing in Liam Coen is not going to fix Trevor Lawrence. The experiment is over. It didn't work. Great college quarterback. He had flashes of greatness. But NFL is about consistency when you play at quarterback. And he has been the opposite of consistent.
I think Liam can fix him in the red zone a little bit, because that is one of the biggest knocks that I've had on Trevor Lawrence ever since we started the show, is he gets in the red zone, he turns into Panic and Skywalker. I think that's where Liam Coen can really get lost in the sauce in a good way in the red zone. I think you'll see a jump there.
You want to set up the Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield
and, this is something, too, that we've talked about Baker in the year that he had. But my statement to both of you, and I want to start with you over there, Flaming Dragon, is since Liam Coen left Tampa Bay to go to Jacksonville, Baker Mayfield will have a worse year statistically this next year than he did last year when, he absolutely went off.
Punt, you think I'm about to get on this show and doubt that guy? The Cheesecake Factory King? Think I'm going to doubt him? It's not about Liam Coen. As long as Mike Evans is on the same field as him, Baker will throw for 40 touchdowns. Mike Evans scores 2 touchdowns every single game. Baker is the one guy you do not want to doubt when it comes to producing. I'm telling you, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, flat-footed? You know how much of a dog you have to be out there to do what he's doing? It's not about the coach. It's about who Baker is as a person and as a player. He's a gamer. He's gritty. Trust me, I don't want to sit up here and like some people and talk crap about Baker Mayfield, and then he walks in the next year and absolutely rolls everybody. So no, it's not about Liam, although Liam was a great coach and a great piece. Baker is Baker because of who he is and what he has done and the person he is. And as long as Mike Evans is on that field, I promise you Baker will be fine.
Coney, Baker Mayfield will have a worse year statistically next year than he did this year because he does not have Liam.
Man, I'm so proud of Baker Mayfield's progression as a pro and everything that he's done. But I am going to, what do you say, he will have a worse year? Or
yeah, he'll have a worse year next year.
So as proud as I am, I'm going to have to go for that because he had his best statistical year ever. And to me, I don't think you're going to match your best statistical year with a new offensive coordinator coming in, even though I do know it seems like he's played for a new OC every year he's been in the league. Mike Evans getting older. To me, the NFC South can't remain terrible forever, right? Those teams are going to get better. But most of all, I think he could regress in the stats from his best year ever. What was it? Over 4,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns, something like that. He could regress a little bit in his stats with a new offensive coordinator, but them still be even better as a team, right? So I'm not selling Baker Mayfield by any stretch. I don't think he'll match the stats from this last year, but I still think the Bucs will be really good. And hey, if I think he would trade a Super Bowl win any day for a little bit worse stats.
Well, I think Bucky Irving could see his volume go up too. He's
such a good player, man.
Man, think about who Oregon had. That team that they had. And I mean, Tez is coming out this year. Troy Franklin is with the Broncos. Bucky Irving with the Bucs. Bo Nix, obviously, with the Broncos. So that was a hell of a coup.
All right, we got one more here. You're gonna hit us with the prompt on this, but I do want to set it up because Texas quarterback Arch Manning and Buckeyes quarterback Julian Sand both open as top 8 favorites in the Heisman Trophy odds for this next season, which that's huge considering neither one has been a starter. The odds are Arch plus 950, Julian Sand plus 1,800 right now. And guess what? They face off in week 1 in Columbus.
God,
can you set this one up?
I know college football just ended, but I'm already ready.
Oh, I'm absolutely
early slate is absolutely incredible. All right, fellas, 2 high-profile guys will be squaring off in this game. Arch Manning will outplay Julian Sand in their first game.
Oh, punt. But and I think it's unfair, the hype that's been put on Arch Manning. I think it's unfair. I think he's going to be a good player for Texas. He's going to be in Steve Sarkisian's offense. But Julian Sand, I think, could actually be the generational young player in this group of young guys across the country. When you hear about the way that people talk about him, and it's not just who he is, it's also what he has around him. Guess who he has coming back, fellas? Jeremiah Smith, who teams are offering $4.5 million to transfer, allegedly, in the transfer portal right now. You got Carnell Tate coming back. Julian Sand, when you look at a fit, when you look at where you are, ability, and Chip Kelly's your OC, coming off the momentum of a national championship in a year where your offensive line was good, but they weren't amazing. I think Ohio State's offensive line, even though they're losing Josh Simmons, could be even better next year than they were this year. You got a fan base that's not afraid to put the pocketbook out and go buy some guys. I think Julian Sand will be a better player overall, and he is going to blow Arch Manning out of the water week 1 at home. Remember, I said it in the shoe.
David, Arch Manning will outplay Julian Sand in the season opener. Are you punting?
Yeah.
Or are you going?
I'm going to have to go for this. I say Arch Manning will outplay Julian Sand in that opener for a couple different reasons. First off, I haven't seen Julian Sand play college football, right? I've seen his high school tape. I know how good he can be. At least I've seen Arch Manning play football in college, and Steve Sarkisian is still his play caller. And I also think Texas is in a position next season to be what the Buckeyes were this last year. Yes, Julian Sand will have Jeremiah Smith to throw the football to. That's always nice. Wish I had had a couple of him running around. But I think the mindset with this Buckeyes team, all those seniors that came back to win this championship, sort of like Michigan came back to win 2023, a lot of those guys are going to be leaving. I know this game will be at home, and I'm not necessarily even saying that Texas will pull the upset. We have a long way to go through the transfer portal to see what that is. But I think Arch Manning will have more pieces around him. Texas is going to be hungrier to come in and really win a championship this next season the way the Buckeyes just were. So I'll say Arch Manning right now outperforms Sand in that game.
I just can't wait to watch that game. I really don't care who outplays who. I just can't wait to watch it. And you add that one to, LSU, Clemson. Some of these matchups are just absolutely elite. I think Alabama plays Florida State. Good luck, Mike Norvell, on that revenge tour. That's a tough one to start.
All right, let's get to this poll. Who won punt or go? Blaine, Jake, or David? David coming in with a sturdy 19%. Jake with a sturdy 40%, and I got 42%, fellas. Who would have thought on this beautiful...
Yeah, who would have thought? Amazing. That's just amazing how that works. But the phone lines are opening up here in 1 minute. Tony, can you tell them that number really quickly?
1-855-236-3228. You get 60 seconds. Share your hottest take.
It's Friday. It better be hot, or we're hanging up the phone on you. I'll tell you who we're not hanging up the phone on, though. Our friends over at Shopify. All right, I get a lot of people that say, Jake, I want to start a podcast, doing this, doing that. What made it easier for you? The thing that made it the easiest for me, and even what makes it the easiest for us here at the Daily Wire, is you want to be able to make the main thing the main thing. You want to focus on your content. If you're opening up a bakery, you want to focus on the bread. And I'm not just talking about the money. What Shopify does is help you from a commerce standpoint. They take care of all the little things so you don't have to worry about it. And the best time to start your business is right now. And Shopify makes it simple to create your brand and get your first sale. Whether you've been dreaming about this for years or you just had your light bulb moment, you want to sell to where your customers are scrolling. Shopify's powerful social media tools let you connect to all your channels and create shoppable posts. So don't worry about the complex stuff. Keep the main thing the main thing. Think about it. Established in 2025. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Crain, all lowercase. Hit that noise, David. Guess what? We rich, y'all. That's shopify.com/CRAIN to start selling with Shopify today. Don't be scared. Go to shopify.com/Crain. Hit it one more time, David. Let the people know. Get your bread up.
Get your money up, not your funny up.
That's exactly right. All right. It's Friday, so we're going to go a little locks, leans, and dogs before we get to the phone.
Come on, man.
NFC, AFC.
Can we win some money this weekend, please?
Oh, we're going to.
Lock in. You haven't been
I'm locked. What do you mean? I ran through the locks, leans, and dogs last week. I had Jahmyr Gibbs plus 400 on the first touchdown scorer. How dare you? Check your privilege,
Same
sir.
with me. And I went 2-4, and I made a separate bet that said I would go 2-4 in locks, leans, or dogs. I'm making money off my money.
Wow. That's hedging.
Look, you're already on a roll today because you hit a Drake quote early in the show.
You pulled that one out.
You're
I didn't
growing
see that.
in a good way.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple ways.
Growing in.
Anyway,
old.
don't
That's
forget.
old Dave. I could
Don't
do that
forget.
all day.
We're going to live stream the NFC AFC Championship game from Mission Cigar and Social on Sunday. Our live stream of the National Championship game in college football got over 300,000 views. We're trying to get to 500,000. We're going 8 straight hours. 8 straight hours of live streaming. All right, what is that? We watch the game. You watch the game. You turn down the volume. We commentate the game. We read your comments. We take bets. We all make money, and we see what happens and have a good old time. So here's what I got. Here's my locks. Not betting against the Chiefs, guys. Not doing it. Would I be pissed if Josh Allen them won? No, but I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I'm riding with them, and they got the rev. So give me the Chiefs money line minus 125. Then I'm taking the under in this Redskins-Eagles game. I know some people are on the over, but I actually bought it up a point. Give me the under 48.5. That's at minus 123. Then my leans. Took a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown last week. Absolutely smashed it. I'm going back to the well again. That's minus 115. Then Terry McLaurin. All right. He's the McLaren, but his name's McLaurin. It's an anytime touchdown at plus 135. They're going to get him the ball. Then my dogs. Give me the
Your face.
Oh, look, I'm an actor. I've been in a movie.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Redskins money line. Fight me. Plus 225. Then Zach Ertz. So good at Ertz. Anytime touchdown. Plus 300. He's got a hot wife. Plays tight end. It's a good situation.
All right, boys, buckle your chin straps. We're going through the A-gap right here. My 2 locks, guess what? Both unders. Is that boring? Don't care. Fine, drive up those overs. Drive those overs up. I'm going under Washington, Philly, under 47.5, minus 110 on the odds. How about Buffalo, KC, under 48.5, minus 110? Can we get a little bet buds action on that?
Oh, please, look, we're absolutely bet budding so hard.
How am I leaning? Right, I'm leaning right now Washington to cover that plus 5.5. Again, I took them to cover last week in my dog section, and not only did they do that, they won outright. Now, Washington right now is plus 6, but I actually don't mind the odds at plus 5.5 at minus 104. And then I'm going with the largest lead bet. Kansas City, Buffalo. Largest lead of the game stays under 2 touchdowns and the hook. So that's 14.5 odds on that, minus 130. I'm expecting a close game. I hope we get one. Dogs, anyone? I'm going to go Bills money line, plus 105. That's right. Give me plus money with Josh Allen and this Bills team. Maybe someone can actually end this Taylor Swift.
Looking through
Kansas
me.
City.
Dr. Strange.
I'll look wherever I want, okay? Yeah. Mind your own business. And then second dog, Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown, plus 120. You're going to give me plus money odds for Travis Kelce to score a touchdown in the playoffs? I'll take it.
Yeah, smart bet.
All right, I love it. Everything other than those unders. What a loser to do that. Give me my locks. Washington plus 7.5. That game's going off at 6.5. Go ahead and buy that up a point. I mean, you get the touchdown cover in a playoff game. I always feel good about that. It's going off at minus 140. Then I'm taking that over. in the Washington-Philadelphia game, 47.5. Going to think there's going to be some points here. I think it's going to be a 31-24 game. Then lean in. I'm talking Michael Jackson style, but not with the weird stuff. Give me Xavier Worthy, anytime touchdown, plus 220. This just feels like one of those games where the Chiefs are at the 23 and they run a reverse to Xavier Worthy and he skates in from there. And give me Terry McLaurin.
Come on.
I mean, come on, dog.
Come on.
Talking big dogs. Terry McLaurin, ATT, anytime touchdowns, going off at plus 135. And then for my dogs, baby, you can buy this down a little bit. I think Washington's going to be extremely competitive in this game, and it can almost turn into a pick-em in my opinion. I'm getting Washington at plus 3.5, going off at plus 130. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Eagles win this game with a field goal.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't. So that hook will come in.
Whoa.
Then first touchdown score, baby.
I love this.
She don't want a puppy. She want a big dog.
I love
plus
this.
2,000. Keon Coleman, Josh Allen in the pocket. Oh, no. Get off me. Straight to the right. Keon, one-on-one coverage. Back right side of the end zone, baby. He wins the jump ball.
I even gave a
First
location.
touchdown score.
I love that because I think, again, the more resources they dedicate to stopping Josh Allen the run like you were talking about, I think it's time for Keon Coleman to shine this postseason.
That's why I keep looking at Khalil Shakur, and I'm like,
oh, him too.
Maybe. Put him in the slot, see what happens. All right, we're going to put those on social later. The phone lines are open, 1-855-236-3228. Coney, you tell us when
Get those calls in. I'll let you know.
Let's get to the chat.
Let's go to a $5 donation. I don't know why this is starting, but apparently a dance fund is starting in the chat. For if we get someone who donates a total of $100, I'll do some dance at the end of the show. We're at 80 right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's getting pretty close, so I'm going to have to figure out what dance I'm going to do. But let's go to a $5 donation from Johnny P. Appreciate it, Johnny. He says, fellas, who do we like the first touchdown scorers in the Eagles and Commanders game?
Here's what I'm feeling. A lot of people are going to go Jalen Hurts, or they're going to go Saquon, but I think Washington comes out first and scores a touchdown. And you know who I think it is going to be? Brian Robinson Jr. That's who it's going to be. It's going to be a zone read that he's going to keep the Eagles. Oh, no, Jaden Daniels. It's going to be Brian Robinson Jr. That's who I got.
I just, when it comes to first touchdown betting, like
I know you want to go big. I know you want to go big.
I hate betting like Kareem Hunt.
I know.
When's Jahan Dotson going to sneak back in there for that first touchdown? I guarantee that's going off at probably plus 5,000 right now. Let's go to the Spartan. What's up, brother? Is FTDS the first of the whole game?
Yes.
Or for the team? It is a first touchdown of the entire game. Yep. And a cool thing you can do about that, if you do bet that and say you don't hit, you can bet the first touchdown coming out in the second half.
Well, you can bet second touchdown, last touchdown. You can do a lot.
All right, let's go to a $3 donation from the Q. What's up, man? Appreciate it. Says, hey, guys, a huge Commanders fan here. The more I look at the game, the less I like it. I just don't think we can hold up front on defense.
That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. Philly's going to test you early. There's no secret. Jalen Hurts is beat up, right? Saquon's been going off. They're going to test you early. If you can somehow, and again, you're not going to just stop Saquon, right? What's the old saying? You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He's going to get his, all right, but it can't get to the point that we've seen the past couple games where he's ripping off 200 yards and he's just sticking the knife in you in the fourth quarter. But I'll go back to where we were breaking it down earlier. If you're Dan Quinn, do you play him even early, see if we can hold up? Maybe we're having a good day. Maybe we're having a bad day. Maybe somebody's wife's cheating on him on the offensive line. Who knows? I don't know. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to have to funnel resources to stop it. And I would rather Jalen Hurts beat me through the air. If the Eagles are going to beat me because they blew it up on offense, it's because A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith cooked us. That's fine. I would rather go down that way, not the slow death from Saquon.
All right, let's go to I am the 251. What's up, man? It says, what is your favorite prop bet in this Eagles-Commanders game?
Overtime.
You want me to look up the odds on that one?
I wonder what that is.
Probably plus 1,200 or plus 13.
In the Redskins game, right?
Yep. I would say overtime. That's my favorite prop.
I know where to find it.
Let's go to Jason really quickly. Do we like the prop for Saquon Barkley to hit over 130 rushing yards?
He's going to get 127.
Don't do that to people.
He's going to get 127.
Overtime plus 1,300.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Turbo. Turbo, what's up? Is Jalen Hurts' first touchdown score the easiest bet of the weekend?
It's like, I get it. It feels like the Eagles always get down to the one, and as beat up as he is, they're going to push him in, or as Blaine calls it, the push-tush. He learned that in prison. But,
screaming fucker.
We got a lot going on today, man.
I was going to try to cheat for you guys, but you made it kind of hard.
See,
Yeah,
exactly.
Because of that attitude.
Proof. Cheats on every other Friday.
No, I have not actually cheated. Ever.
Let's go, chat.
I was going to.
Let's go, chat. We live that life, Dave.
David, first off,
We live that life over here, Dave.
I
want to personally apologize.
I apologize to you. I'm a part of this, and it'll never happen again. That graphic will never play.
Oh,
what I was gonna say is overtime in the Bills Chiefs game is plus 1,400, but now my Friday's kind of off kilter. It's a little catawampus now, you know.
All right, let's go to _Shadow. What's up, man? Says, do we take the over/under on Jaden Daniels' rushing yards for the game?
I don't know what they are. I need a number.
Jalen Daniels?
Yeah, go ahead and look at that, Dave, and tell me what you think about
Wait, Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts? I couldn't hear what
Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the Pans. What's up, man? Says, hey, guys, Eagles fan here. I want to know right now, is Jalen Hurts going to be himself, or are the playoff woes going to continue? If this Eagles team loses this game, is Nick Sirianni in trouble?
I don't think Sirianni's in trouble. I think if they lose this game and Jalen Hurts looks bad, Jalen Hurts is in trouble. And I know the contract situation, like it just, if he comes out and he struggles to throw the ball, I'm telling you that you want to talk about turning on somebody quick. Nobody turns on anybody quicker than the Eagles fans. And if he struggles to throw it and he's the reason they don't get in there because Saquon gets bottled up because Washington puts every person that's ever walked into Washington, D.C. in the box, then I think there's going to be some serious questions that get asked about Jalen Hurts and his ability to not be the problem at the end of the day. And when you run it as much as he does, you open yourself up to getting hurt.
All right, Jaden Daniels rushing props here. Over 50 yards rushing is minus 155, not great odds. But then if you go to 60-plus yards, it goes up to plus 114.
I like the under. This Eagles defense can run, man. They can run.
Let's go to Andrew _C. What's up, man? He says, Washington's defense has just slowed them down enough for the offense to outscore them, and I don't think that'll cut it versus the Eagles.
Yeah, I think you can make a similar case for the Bills defense, but playing against the Eagles and playing against the Chiefs, I mean, which offense would you rather play? Would you rather play the Eagles offense or the Chiefs offense? I would probably lean toward the Eagles offense, as crazy as that sounds, because they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
I know it's different in the postseason, but I'd still rather play this Chiefs offense, I think.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the couple calls.
All right, here we go. We got some callers on the line. Let's get to them. Everybody else listening, go ahead, pick up that phone and call in 1-855.
Or just watch the sports shows that suck.
3228. We got open lines right now, but we're going to start with Matthew in Arkansas. Matthew, what's your hot take, brother?
What's up, boys? It is the Heartbroken Hog here.
What's up, man?
And my take is Mark Andrews did not lose the Ravens that game last weekend. If he catches that ball, it is a tie game, and they're kicking it back to Josh Allen with a minute and a half and 2 timeouts left, and all they need is a field goal to win it. The guy who lost them the game is the same guy who loses the Ravens game every year in the playoffs, and that's Lamar Jackson, who cost them the game with his fumble that was a 10-point swing. They were in field goal range, and the Bills turned it into 7 points.
I mean, they both turned the ball over, too, though. I mean, it wasn't just – if it was just the drop on the 2-point conversion by Mark Andrews, I think you would have an even better case. Not saying you don't have a case, but he also fumbled during the game as well. So, now, you could argue that maybe Lamar's fumbles and that interception was more detrimental because of what the defense did with the ball once they got it. But, I mean, Mark, they needed a scapegoat, and Mark Andrews didn't help them out. I hurt for both of them, man. And what I would have loved is if I would have got to see Josh Allen do that last drive. Or maybe, we go into overtime. And remember, the rules are different in the NFL in the playoffs in overtime than they are in the regular season.
Yeah, and kicking the field goal for Buffalo there was the right call.
It was the right call.
To go up.
100%.
Yeah. Let's go to Noah in Texas. Noah, what's your hot take?
Hey, good afternoon, Kings.
What's up, man?
What up?
Hey, so I thought about, do I do a hot take? But you know what? We're going to go spicy here.
I love it.
And CT Sabathia should have won the 2008 NL Cy Young. Keep in mind now, he pitched with the Brewers from the trade and then all the way into the postseason. He pitched 17 games, had 7 complete games, 3 shutouts, And on 4 different occasions, he pitched on 3 days rest. The dude helped break a 26-year playoff drought to get Milwaukee back into the playoffs.
Who ended up winning it that year?
In 2008, I think Phillies beat the Rays that year.
No, I'm talking about who won the Cy Young.
Oh, Lincecum.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was Cliff Lee was 22-3 with the Indians, ERA at 2.54, 170 strikeouts on the year. Tim Lincecum for the Giants was 18-5 with the ERA at 2.62 and 265 strikeouts.
Yeah, Lincecum was just a freak. That's actually what they called him. He rode his bicycle to the stadium, too. Also, CC Sabathia in the Hall of Fame. Ichiro in the Hall of Fame. Billy Wagner in the Hall of Fame as well. The one guy who didn't vote for Ichiro Suzuki to be in the Hall of Fame should not only have his vote taken away, he should be tarred, feathered, and then deported.
So 2 things on both those guys. One, did you see CC Sabathia joking around with Ichiro with the Hall of Fame saying, you stole my Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
And you were older?
Yeah.
But then also Ichiro came out for that, because Ichiro got, I think, 393 of the 394 votes, whatever the total number was. Like you said, only one person didn't vote for him. He invited that guy over for dinner. He said, whoever didn't vote for me for the Hall of Fame, I want him to come over, have drinks and dinner with me so I can talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, and then I'm going to poison your food as well.
All right, let's go to David in Tampa. David, what's your hot take?
Hey, guys, did you know that 2025 is the year of the snake? And I tell you what, y'all, there's a bunch of vicious snakes out there. The king cobra, the black mamba, the diamondback rattlesnake, and Liam Coen.
How are Bucs fans feeling?
Jake, not good at all. Let me tell you how I feel. If Liam Coen had just merely changed his mind, I still would have been upset because you're still losing a great talent at coaching. But I would have understood, right? Because being a head coach is a dream job. So I would have totally understood. But it's the way that he handled it. How do you ghost your boss for over 24 hours? How do you go about saying, like, how do you even agree to become a deal to become our OC when you knew deep inside, you knew all along you were going to take the Jags head coach? It's just, it completely lacks integrity. Again, I understand a dream job, but he could have handled it so much better. He handled it in the worst possible way. So, Liam Coen, thanks for making us a top 5 offense. You're a hell of an offensive coach, but you showed your true colors, man.
Yeah, you're not the first person that's told me that's a Bucs fan. I don't know exactly the details of how it went down, but the way it looks, it's kind of lining up with what you're saying there, Dave. And again, I just don't know if the Jags is the move, man. Like, we talked about that the other day. I just don't know if it's the move. But look, they're paying you, so whatever.
How bad was the situation with Trent Baalke that they fire the GM and now all of a sudden you're interested?
Well, guess what? I'm not saying it, but you were the problem, obviously.
All right, boys, let's go to Steve in Idaho. Steve, what's your hot take?
Hot take, boys. We need a whole heck of a lot more interconference play in college football so we can find out who the good conferences are during the regular season and not during the playoffs. Basic idea is we get rid of the cupcake games. Every team gets one cupcake. You get one game where you get to go play the Hunter Biden School of Rehab. That's it. You have an 8-game conference schedule where that'll give you time to have a permanent rival and play everyone in your conference home and away in a 4-year career. And then the other 3 games, you play the same place team and the other 3 conferences. So you win the SEC. Next year, you're playing the winners of the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big 10. If you come in bottom, you're playing the losers of the ACC, the Big 10, and the Big 12. That'll give us a whole heck of a lot more great games during the season where we're seeing evenly matched up teams going after each other. Tim Brando talked about we need to have an inventory problem. That would solve the inventory problem. And then we can use how the conferences do against each other to figure out how many teams each conference gets into the playoff. That if one conference has a winning record against the other 3, they're going to get more teams into the conference, into the playoff than let's say your conference has a losing record overall against the other three, well, maybe we let your conference champion.
I tell you, we've sat here and talked about we want an ACC Big Ten challenge in college football like we have in basketball, and a Big 12 SEC, and to be able to rotate it. I've never heard the idea of where you finish that year in the conference. When you play the other conference you're mandated to play, you have to play the team that finished in a similar slot. Now, I think where that problem becomes is that only works if the conferences have the same amount of teams in them. You look at the Big Ten that's got 35 teams right now compared to the ACC.
34.
34. How do you do that? If all the conferences had the same amount of teams, I think it's much more feasible. But I like where your head's at, Steve from Idaho. I do like where your head's at.
All right, boys, let's go to the chat.
Here, let's get to bets. Then we'll get to the chat. Let's bring up the bets. Good calls today. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and throw it up. Tonight, we already went through Locklings and Dogs. This is a separate thing. Michigan, Purdue, over 152 at minus 112, still in positive units for the month. Then Michigan money line at plus 142. Purdue, they look good a couple times. They look bad a couple times. I like Cockman Wren, but I look at Golden, who y'all got from FAU down low, and then Danny Wolf as well. So give me the over in that game, and Michigan plus 142.
I like it. I'm going to go with Michigan as well, but I'm going to take the point, and it's plus 4 right now, and the odds are minus 112. Then I'm going to stay in the Big Ten. Give me Iowa minus 3.5, minus 110 on those odds.
All right, pull mine up 1-1 yesterday. Illinois, what happened? I mean, not only were you 7.5-point favorites, you got rolled by 20 at home.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
Wasn't even close. All right, give me the Michigan-Purdue under. It's going off at 152.5. That's minus 105. Watch both these teams, and I don't think they're great offensively. I think Purdue's definitely overrated offensively. I really don't think they're that great. South Carolina plus 6.5. Have Mississippi State at home. That's going off at minus 115. I believe in South Carolina to cover that in their own building.
Yes, and that game is Saturday as well. That game is tomorrow. Ace, what do you got? He's going to take Washington, plus 4.5 tonight. They got UCLA. Mick Cronin's got over 500 wins. He's 53 years old, so kiss his butt. Then St. Joseph's. I think they've got Dayton tonight.
On the road.
In a little Atlantic 10 matchup. They're plus 6.5, going off at minus 110. All right, let's get to the donos.
All right, if you donated today, guys, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it over on this side. We're going to start it off with Seth. Appreciate it, Seth. 70 of 100, it's happening, Flaming. Yeah, whatever. Let's go to RJ with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, RJ. Jake, if the rules for the NFL defenses were like during the Brian Dawkins era, do you think the Chiefs would the Chiefs still win the Super Bowl? I can read that.
You talking about where you could actually hit people and they wouldn't call stuff? I think you're alluding to the referees helping the Chiefs out. I think they still would. I mean, the Chiefs defense ain't messing around when they're hitting people either. So I think that could go hand in hand. But yeah, I think they would.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from the Do-Rag. Appreciate it, man. It says, Jane Daniels right now is the best quarterback in the playoffs. If you had to pick him or Patrick Mahomes, who are you taking?
Patty.
I got to take Mahomes, man. And that's not a slight on Jaden. I mean, we talked about which was more impressive.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from the Dancing Dog. Appreciate it. Says, hey, guys, new to the show. Really like y'all's content. Appreciate it, man. He says, I think right now Brian Robinson Jr. can be the difference for the Commanders in the run game. I know the Eagles are good up front, but, God, that guy runs hard.
Well, also, having Jaden Daniels, a guy that can run at quarterback in that RPO game, really opens it up, not only for Brian Robinson Jr., I think Eckler's been a good ad. I mean, they don't use the volume for him isn't a ton, but what they do with him in the screen game, being able to supplement Brian Robinson Jr., he's a little bit of a different flavor of ice cream with the ball. I think it's kind of a three-headed monster a little bit that they have going because you have to honor Jaden Daniels if you're that backside defensive end on the zone read as well.
Look, if you run out of the tunnel to mini men after you got shot, I'm already
I
a
believe in you.
Let's go to a $10 donation from Russell. Appreciate it, Russell. He says, where would you rank Terry McLaurin on the receivers left in the playoffs right now?
He's up there. I mean, if we're talking about importance to your team, I mean, it's Terry McLaurin, not that they don't have anybody else, but like that's their guy. Yeah. Look, when it comes down to it, there's no Devontae Smith to McLaurin's A.J. Brown. Like it's him and some other guys. I think Ertz is going to have a good game too. But Terry, it's not only just the amount of catches that he had, it's the type of catches that he makes. I mean, down the field, underneath, being able to break tackles, being shifty. And I'm so happy for him because, I mean, this is his first real run in the playoffs, man. Like, he got his first playoff win this year. They make it all the way to the NFC Championship game, and I think he's going to play in his first Super Bowl.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from AJ. Appreciate it, AJ. He says, David, why are you so comfortable with the unders in the playoffs?
Playoff football, man. First of all, every under hit in the opening round, right? I think, what was the percentage in the divisional round? All of them except for the game that was played inside, I believe, which that one, look, I took the under in the Redskins and Lions game as well, even though that's the one I felt least comfortable with because they were playing inside. I just thought, again, 55.5 points, that one was up to. I look at this Chiefs defense in that game, and I look at the way that they're going to want to try and at least establish the run game, longer drives and not hugely explosive. I think a lot of clock ticking and the under will hit there. And then the Eagles, man. I mean, they're going to run the football every play.
Stop the run.
And stop the run. I love the under in that game.
Let's go to a $2 donation from Tyler. Appreciate it, Tyler. He says, what's your thoughts on Russell Wilson to the Titans?
I thought he was going to say the Raiders.
I thought he was, too, to go back with Pete Carroll. I was like, no, I don't see that. Nothing would shock me with Russ. I'm interested to see what the Steelers do. I mean, there were some reports out there they were interested in Jalen Milroe, and I'm looking at Justin Fields, and then Jalen Milroe, and I'm like, so you just kind of want the same thing? Like, I don't know what vibe we're going for here. Nothing would shock me. I wonder how much longer Russell's going to play. I really do wonder that.
All right, let's go to a $5 donation from McCall. Appreciate it, man. Says, if you're Trevor Lawrence, there's no way you get traded for the first pick to the Titans. Am I right? That would be a detrimental move for the Titans, and I don't see them doing that.
That'd be by detrimental, you mean stupid. Like, I'm going to trade my golden pick for a middle-of-the-road quarterback that hasn't really been able to break through? No way. Either you trade that thing back for a bunch of picks or you take Cam Ward. Those are your two choices, I think, if you're the Titans.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Hans. Appreciate it, man. He says, guys, you know the Chiefs are going to win it, right?
I picked them. I'm with you.
All right, let's go to a $20 donation from WTH. Appreciate it. Blaine, you're definitely dancing today. Hey, I'm not going to read all these donations with everybody saying I'm dancing. Monday, I will give y'all guys a dance.
It needs to be an interpretive dance.
Yeah, I'll really take my time and get it right just for y'all. But if you donated today and that's all the rest of the donations, we really appreciate it.
They want you to dance?
Yeah, man. I don't know how. There's always something
dance
crazy
if you want
that's starting in the chat, man.
Yep. All right, don't forget, we got that live stream AFC, NFC Championship game this Sunday. And we also, before we get out of here, we got fitted in a minute, Coney. Are you ready for this?
Yes, tell me when.
You have 1 minute to read the sports headlines. If you go past a minute, Blaine gets to shoot you with a paintball gun.
Yes.
All right, don't blow it. All right, David Coen, Flaming Dragon Friday edition. Fit in a minute.
Novak Djokovic retired from his Australian Open semifinal match against Alexander Zverev after losing the first set. The 24-time Grand Slam winner was chasing his 11th title in Melbourne. Zverev will now face Sinner in the Australian Open final. Colorado football has been hit with a minor NCAA recruiting violation. That violation stems from Deion Sanders mentioning quarterback recruit Julian Juju Lewis during his weekly coaches show. Buckeyes junior running back Quinshon Judkins has declared for the 2025 NFL Draft. Judkins rushed for 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns this season for the national champs and rushed for 2,700 yards and 31 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Ole Miss. Dallas Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs had surgery Thursday on his left knee, and the recovery could keep him out of training camp, if not longer. He is entering the 3rd year of a 5-year deal worth $97 million, and the Atlanta Braves have agreed to terms with outfielder Jurickson Profar, 3 years, $42 million, once the top prospect in all of baseball. Profar hit 280, 24 homers, 85 RBIs for the Padres last season.
I love the pickup from the Braves, and it's going to be unfortunate when...
What's his name?
Jurickson Profar. Good player.
Yeah.
Man, this is like my excitement time for the Braves. Like, we're getting close to spring training. I start getting excited again, only to probably be let down in the playoffs after an amazing regular season. But maybe the Reds will come through this year.
The Reds.
Team B.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Check it out. Skyline Chili. What's up? All right, we appreciate you guys. Don't forget about that live stream this Sunday from Mission Cigar and Social. Going to start 30 minutes before the first game, most likely. We'll keep you up to date on that. Make sure you come hang out with us. Hope you have a great weekend. And like the chances of me not enjoying a beautiful weekend of good college hoops and great NFL football, we're going.
Nope.
Gone.
Throw it at me. It freaked me out.